Hello everyone and welcome to another match of the 2022 Roulette Rivals World Championship, second to last weekend of the group stage, and it's a busy Saturday ahead of us, and we are not quite starting, but the day is almost starting with KkennyZ versus SovietDubov from Group G. 3 maps on offer today, as always. The first two picked by the players. Haven Island will be the first one, chosen by Kkenny, and Hokkaido, second, picked by Soviet. If I get the sound correct, then we will have everything ready for this match starting in 45 seconds. It is a Group G reunion here. Welcome Blunts as well, Randy, and all the Joker imposters in chat. Obviously, Haven. Well, not obviously, but looking into Kenny's stats from the tournament so far, this is his comfort pick. At least the third, if not the fourth time he has chosen this map in the group stage, and has a very nice 3-1 win rate there. It's not really a tactical pick. I think he would have picked it either way, but certainly doesn't hurt that this is Soviet's first ever Hokkaido spin in Roulette Rivals history. And here it is actually: Tyson Williams pistol as Villa staff, Stephen Bradley drowning in the gas suit, and Ludmila Vecharova explosion accident as the personal trainer. Yeah, well done. Apparently I said it's a Hokkaido spin in Haven, but it is what it is. We will have the Haven spin in Hokkaido in just a few minutes. Not too long actually, because we are starting with an almost free Tyson kill. Pistol as Villa staff. There is this trick there, whether you want to bring your own silence pistol or do you want to take the one from the office or the security hub, which will be a potential detour of 30 to 45 seconds. And should players take that detour and then go down for the gas suit, timings could be a bit tricky there. However, let's just put that aside. If the Steven timing works out, then the last remaining obstacle is a Ludmila drive-by, so 619 of blunts and beat is in danger, mostly by Kenny, but if Soviet first tried this one, then he could not only take the 2 points here, but something longer lasting as well. A very obvious Villa staff start here, and I think the Changs have been selected for both players in... Kenny definitely has this hidden stash in the villa, and just checking Soviet, and there should be the case here as well. Soviet though, and this is a nice story. Now, Soviet is using the Kkenny strat. This has been used in the Haven match 2 matches ago by Kenny, and that's how I learned it for my match against him, and that's how Soviet learned it for today. So the strat is spreading. It's a double seeker on Tyson, but first on his bodyguard. Sadly that's a miss on Soviet, but the run is still alive. And ironically, Kenny is going for the conventional approach. And just going to get this silence pistol right now for a kill at about a minute 40 mark. Soviet running into the enforcer lady, sadly. So we won't really see the full potential of the approach just yet, but the end result will be a Tyson ISO next to the gate, where you hop over the jacuzzi side of the villa.
Welcome, sir.
But Ken is also right here with the fact that you don't really need him outside, because this is a almost free kill, barely any time investment, less than 2 minutes into his run, already has the first kill down. But,
2 targets remaining.
Of course, the main challenge here is, can Kenny make the Steven timing in the gas suit? Because that will be a long back and forth, and I think I was gonna say that we might see a back and forth for the bodyguard disguise, but just the propane, which is much better to grab from the Villa start. And I think Kenny should have picked up the keycard from the staff start, and yeah, this ladder will be functional, and a quick way down to the bottom floor of the map. Seeker missed on Soviet side, I think, because it seemed green still and he was looking in the distance to see where Tyson is going, so sadly it's another restart. And I just need a quick grab here, and yeah, there are coins.
Jeez.
To move this Villa guard away, and he should be looking away by now, but might want to wait until one more step is taken, and Kenny has disguise before the 3-minute mark, crucially. And yeah, with this the main question has been answered. He will have the Seeker timing on Steven. Kenny, well, I was gonna say Soviet, but Kenny is ahead and Soviet is behind after the couple restarts. And it, for a kill like this, it's not like Soviet's approach will make him catch up a whole lot, so Kenny can definitely drive this to the finish. But potential good in-game times are on offer for both players, especially with Soviet going now the old approach and almost losing the propane in the tub. But he gets it back and hopefully gets going. Less than 5 minutes have been passed, but Kenny has obviously made a good amount of grounds on this spin so far. And yeah, Kenny will have some angles to choose from. The conversation will end here in the hut, so can't use this angle, but he can use the other one. These bushes before Steven gets too late. This is gonna be really crucial. If you want to be even safer, you wanna throw an item to stop Steven in his tracks. He's concealed in the bushes, moving target, and a very nice hit, a crucial, maybe even 2 points worth of hit from Kenny on Steven. Now he's going the long way around, or it feels like the long way around, but targets do path the way they want, and usually makes sense, at least distance-wise. So Kenny should just be careful of this Enforcer turning back and forth. He will look towards 47 once more. And you can't really do a KO here, because that will trigger a lockdown. You have to be really quick after the throw and mash the button, because there will be the lockdown. Only red guns, luckily, so Kenny gets the second kill. But definitely some tense moments there.
So, that's Stephen Bradley taken care of. Well done.
One last disguise to grab.
Just one more target to go.
But looking like... Okay, this will decide if Kenny is going for the disguise or Ludmila first, and he's going for the disguise first, so this can be really quick. The 6:19 have been passed by now, but can still be really impressive. First try for Kenny. Double action, or double personal trainer action. Soviet is a bit ahead on this grab. Just one kill behind so far. I'm not sure if the body's been seen. Oh, but yeah, so the lady didn't turn towards Soviet. I think she was the one who spotted him there. Hard to say, but another restart of Soviet, very unlucky. Kenny using a coin to make it even safer, and no one should be looking here. And the door closed. Kenny has the last disguise. Propane flask as well. And I think the last trouble here for Kenny is that he can't really do a proper drive-by here, because as long as Ludmila is in the bar, in the restaurant area, at least the guard will be too close, and potentially even Chef Urban. She's now going inside, which will be chest passing for Kenny and the personal trainer. I think with this first try on Mind, he's just looking to make this as safe as possible. It wasn't ever going to be a drive-by apparently. But a taser run. And just moves the propane a bit further away, so Ludmila's guard won't be in range of that. Would still be best to bump at least once. And the moment of truth. The kill is there, and no side effects like combat or hunted. Kenny gets the last kill, and 7.5 minutes into his first run, less than 9 minutes from the start, he has the 2 points. The first 2 points of the match. And nicely done. Moving his win rate up to an impressive 4 wins and 1 loss. Soviet sadly couldn't really get going in Haven, but Hokkaido is next. His own map pick and his own chance to tie this matchup before the yet unknown third map, which this time I don't know either. Only the very well-read people of the community can scroll up in the matchups channel, or well, Randy is included that, but Randy is a match admin here and he also knows the last map. But we will all figure it out in a bit. Yeah, just checking these channels which keep featuring the matches that have been scheduled or starting soon enough. I think right now is when Keben versus Nezuko is starting. That's a short break, was that? 54 past the hour was suggestion there. I mean, I guess we're going. I'm not exactly sure by this. It might just be the shortest break ever.
Private hospital provides cutting-edge medical treatment for the global elite outside the law.
And we're going back to 0-0. There's just been some misclicks there. I think we'll clean up the situation. But meanwhile that is happening, turn down Diana on my end. So in the meantime, there is a match that is ours, which started 10 minutes ago. There's a match which is starting right now, Keben versus Nezuko-chan, which is casted by Joker J. For Joker J, H3. Mind the change of the Twitch handle. And the next match will be half past the hour. Egorex versus Mika from Group A. And it has been just claimed as of seconds ago by Gordini Roy with Barbecue as the co-caster. So it should be very exciting potential multi-stream attempts, or with the potential for a triple stream, but I think we will be finishing by half past. And then I see 5, 6, 7 multiple matches until the end of the day. It will be a very busy one. And yeah, 6 past the hour when we will have the second spin, no problem there. And yes, as I said before, thank you Randy for adminning this one just in advance. And as we have 4 more minutes, and as I'm not sure if I can fill the air with enough interesting factoids, I'm just gonna use other scenes to my good use. This is Group G, and you can see Kenny and Soviet are currently 6th and 8th, but both of them with only 3 matches played and 4 to go. This one and 3 more, so a lot of potential points to be gained. With the Haven win, Kenny is on now 9 points and can get up to 13. 2 more map wins, which will be 3rd place for the time being. And a very tight scenario with himself, Blunts and Beats, and a story, but Frivolous also on 10 points and 3 matches played. And I think the same could be said for a Soviet win, Soviet turnaround. He could end up on 6 points still. And that's 4 behind the story, 6 behind Blunts, with plenty of matches to go. So a group which is far from over and has been definitely headlined by Sparkles, one of the best rookies of this tournament. 4 wins and 1 loss and 22 points. Before today he was on 22 after a maximum of 24. And I guess, not I guess, but it's a bit different because Blunts is in the chat, but I've been also impressed by his performance. 2 wins, 2 losses, but in a very nice fashion as well. I think only losing to Spark and myself. So the current first and second place finishers are done for bronze, so could be getting a lot more points there. All right, I'll switch back by now because it gets awkward. 2 more minutes. I can talk about the story of the triple world record for the 17th time, but I'm just hoping that it will be broken, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. One of the 2 tied world records currently, the other one, unsurprisingly, Dartmoor with the 136. We can also make it quadruple. We can make it quintuple. Let's make it a tie here. And yeah, I think that's a very funny part that Blythe has managed to get the 325 on 2 occasions. And I mean, if the record gets more crowded, then I can only feel sorry for Mr. Mike or Curry, or I'm not even sure who's ultimately responsible for checking the world records. In some way, it's Yanni and I as well, but it is what it is. There might be an adjusted overlay for Hokkaido maps, which is just smaller streams, but longer map record page, map record section. Back to Hokkaido, we said that Kenny was the more experienced one on Haven. Well, it's obviously the other way around for Hokkaido. 4 wins, 3 losses for Soviet, and just the 1 win for Kenny. I don't suppose these were from this tournament, but I can check it out that Soviet has played and lost Hokkaido once in this tournament to Sparkles, but it's not very indicative. So before that he was 4-2, still with a positive win rate. But I doubt that Kenny's won Hokkaido was in this tournament. And indeed, it was his first ever match from RR7 round 1. But yeah, time has come for the Hokkaido spin. Eric Soder's robot arms as the helicopter pilot, and Yuki Yamazaki's silent sniper rifle as the yoga instructor. Double unique disguises. Not awfully straightforward kills. The robot arms do take some time, and silent sniper is a guaranteed smuggle, so I could see a potential garage agency pickup and Seeker's chat for Yuki, followed by the robot arms, and then the heli pilot grab. It will be a long one either way. The 325 will stand for yet another match. But looks like Soviet is prioritizing the heli grab from Surgeon Star. Just a quick restart at the beginning because of the Enforcer. And Kenny is looking for an early Yuki ISO.
As part of the service here at Gamma.
That might be a bit too much on my end, at least sound-wise. Yep, second try works for Soviet. It is one of the infamous starts of the trilogy for sure. I suppose it has been reenacted in Mumbai to some ways, in the longest start, where you are almost required to wait 15 or so seconds until the Enforcer passes by, and the Ambrose Metalworker start with the unskippable cutscene is quite a bit annoying. Kenny's on 1 restart. The briefcase... Yeah, it was a briefcase KO, which basically didn't work for Kenny this time around, but Soviet can take the lead here, use the snail on the bodyguards, and the trank on the heli pilot. It is an expensive grab, but there's no doubt that he still has the sniper rifle, and I think the last item should be at this point a key hacker. Oh, Kenny misses the early grab. Early Yuki ISO there. Probably he will keep trying this one because it seems like the comfortable choice there. It will be some back and forth for the yoga instructor and whatnot. Meanwhile, Soviet using the sniper to good use and doesn't put it back into the briefcase. That's interesting. Wants to get the soldier skill out of the way first, and looking at a sauna timing, no doubt. 2 more key hackers is what Soviet needs. Rather just 1, because this first one apparently good for a mere heli pilot. Oh, it's another rip for Kenny on the gondola. It can be finicky. I can only imagine it's even tighter on controller, trying to avoid those head turns and side kills,
As part of the service here at Gamma,
which is gonna be countered by Soviets' simple sauna strat. The time is now 2:05, the kill will be done by 2:30, and by the 3-minute mark he should be grabbing the yoga instructor, so not a problem timing wise. Soviet is looking good so far to take Hokkaido, but of course half the spin is done, half a spin to go. Yeah, these bodyguards are really moving awkwardly, but I think that was the 2 successful kills on Kenny's side, and Yuki's down as well, completing this ISO. Soviet with the first kill down, and I think he was thinking about some disguise grabs. But I want to take the bodyguard. We'll go immediately towards the spy area to turn up the heat and isolate Yuki with that.
Maybe you can tell me, is it true the boss was connected?
And I suppose at this point it's, yeah, best to drop the tactical and get the yoga instructor. I wonder what order he will take. He might just go for the isolation first, if he doesn't feel comfortable with taking these guys. Oh, I think the yoga instructor was too close, or getting inside the garage for Kenny, so that's another restart for him. It is all in Soviet's hands now.
Mr. Reaper. As part of the service here at Gamma, your personal room has been...
Of course, not the correct Yuki disguise, but if you're not sure about the timings, if you can make this specific action to get to the garage, ISO the yoga instructor wherever he is, and get back, then it's not really a problem to just wait it out. 4:05, Yuki is going inside, and I would probably love to see a subdue here on the guard as well, but it won't happen, just the Yuki ISO. It's not hurt by anyone outside, so that's good. And I think the only question for Soviet is, will any of the bodyguards return to this area? I think the drag to this side room should make it fine. But it's difficult to say regardless. There's no yoga instructor there, but Soviets showing us nicely that cycles do change after Eric is announced dead. I was just going to say that one Shank was used on the heli pilot, so there's one more to use here. But the angles can make this very difficult, and I think Soviet is looking to get the other door, or just wait until the cycles advance a bit. It's a long conversation there, unfortunate for Soviet. I think this is the moment here. He could open the door and take the angle. He doesn't want to. Soviet, slow and steady, but safe, most importantly. But now he's going outside. Will that be seen by anyone?
Now it's time for sodas to retire.
Better check those bodyguards. I don't think it should be a problem. And the change finishes. Soviet gets the disguise and should get the map win. About 30 seconds of sweat remaining.
Hey there.
This area is not only trespassing, but will feature more doctors later on in the run after Solders dies. And 2 more guards to block here. Not sure where they are in the cycle, but Soviet is in safe territory and will take Hokkaido, tying the match up before the decider. Less than 8 minutes into the spin, gets Hokkaido, and I think Kenny could challenge the 613 of Speedy Sloth 3728, but it was just too many rips at the beginning for Kenny, and the very solid second each try from Soviet, which earned him the map win. And just Dubai remaining. A not particularly long map, so Sprint will decide who takes this map and who takes 4 points, with the slim possibility of 3-3 tie. As always, 2 possibilities for a tie, or a draw rather, if the time runs out and neither players finish, or if both players finish but too close to each other within 2 seconds after the loading times are calculated out of the equation. Modest history from both players, but not too bad, because it's a 1-0-0 for Soviet, with the Dubai coming from... that's Kenny. I started Soviet though. Just need to open up the other page. So the 1-0-0 from Soviet means that only one Dubai has been played by him, all the way back in RR6 against Ashton, and that was a win, of course. And Kenny's 2 Dubais were a win against Derek in RR7 and a loss against Phanium in RR8. So nothing from this tourney so far. But it is a spin that... or it is a map rather, which can challenge the 242 of Phanium with a wide variety of spins. If disguises and kill methods line up that way, if the spin features a lot of firearms, which aren't loud, or which don't need to be loud, then I think a lot can be done near or around 1.5 to 2 minutes, which would of course beat Phanium's 242 unless someone loads in for too long. But that's the good point by Sparkles, it can get really difficult as well. Especially with life kills included, especially with the skydiving suit included, or even multiple of these. The only combination that we can't get is Drowning, Marcus, skydiving suit. But a lot of life kills, a lot of hostile kills can make this quite long. And we haven't even talked about the assassin angle, because the assassin is a disguise at the other end of the map, and he has the only folding knife, which, well, should the spin look like that, need to be acquired from him, with at the very least a snail on a shank shot. Just checking if any news have been mentioned from others in the chat, but this duo has been quiet after Hokkaido. Nezuko vs Berlin have some updates, and I will spoil it in a couple seconds, that the first map of Keben vs Nezuko-chan was chonking, and Nezuko was the one winning that, so he has the lead in a very important Group B battle. This match is important as well, not directly for promotion, but I think the winner of this match will feel a lot better about his qualifying chances. And we are also going to see the start of Egorex vs Mika starting in just 12 minutes. But I think by then we will have finished this match, because I have faith in these players to complete a Dubai in such short time. And that will be followed by a Joker J raid, who will have at least 1.5 maps to cover. We still have one last map to cover here, just a short Dubai, or supposedly short Dubai. I'm not even going to look into the spin, just pray that someone has approved Randy's spin there, but obviously not a lot that can go wrong there. And let's see who wins this match. Let's see who wins this Dubai. Another suit spin after an hour. Carl Ingram injected poison suit. Marcus Tyverson screwdriver as event security. 242 is in danger if the player is prepared for a quick suit kill. Will either of them use the gun flash here for the VIP guards? Because that can be a Carl kill in about 40 seconds. And event security is the disguise for Marcus with a screwdriver no more than 15 seconds away from the exit. Kenny already in, 45 seconds into the run. Soviet quickly after. Atrium start and injected poison are required here. And you really want to chank here as well as an item which you can KO people with. But won't really happen, so probably just double chank what's needed. But one was synchronized action here up the vine, and this is going to be really close. If either of them can finish this one, I think this is still world record potential. Important not to get a triple shot on the downstairs guard. Both of them successful with that, shoot the cameras. This is so synced, love it. Ideally a chank on the phone guard. Soviet won't do that one, he's going for the gun flash. And Kenny going for the KOs. Chank and subdue, and could be more. Soviet gets into combat, that's so unfortunate. And I think Kenny will have to restart there because, yeah, that guard turns around. Both of them with such nice approaches. And I can't say why Soviets gunflash ran off so quickly. That would have been some sight to see, because by now I think Marcus would have been isolated and just the grab for a screwdriver. What it could have been. He can still win the map because his approach is quicker. Kenny with a replan there. And yeah, uses the crowbar, which feels like it's missing, but now he won't have any chanks, which is also a bit difficult because there's so little time to do these 4 KOs. But for now, Soviet with another gun flash. If he re-equips the gun, perhaps, I think that's the step which is missing. He needs to restart the gun flash timer. I'm not familiar with this angle, but I don't want to be hindsight here, but I think if he re-equips the SMG, then the timer restarts, and that's another confusion part from the personal garden. You should be able to get away with it, but ultimately Soviet replans, and Kenny now with a half a minute advantage, but I'm not sure if you can do 3 KOs in quick succession. He has the item to get the kill and gets the GRB. Just one item short of a perfect isolation. Soviet trying to make the gun flash happen. Need to see this one now. He changed. I think the chanks are the new item for him. Gets caught by the camera, went too far up the stairs. Lead back to Kenny. It's not the player's fault that there is one less item to work with. But it is definitely challenging, unsurprisingly challenging, that players can't do the usual chank into KOs. It's to be either KOs or chank into subdues. And if Kenny goes for the kill right now before Carl turns. Indeed, that's good, but by then the phone guy sees the first body, so how do you solve his conundrum? Soviet next. And his first main attempt, I'd say, since the replan. Two Cheng's could do it, especially turning into the live kid. He can get this poke before Carl turns around, and he has to do nothing with the bodies. The kill is done. Can he get away with this disguise change? Yes, he can. But Soviet will... I think he still needs something blunt. Because this is gonna be double subdue. And the first subdue will be heard by Marcus. Soviet is so close. This hallway will decide whether he can have this run. Is there anything on this floor? I don't think he can delay Marcus by enough. And when he leaves this door, that's virtually run over. There's no reason to... It's very rare that it can be salvaged from that point. Soviet will try regardless. Kenny gets the poke, but the personal bodyguard saw something. There was a question mark on his end, and then the next thing I saw was a brutal murder with SMG. Brutal back and forth here. With Soviet probably missing this hallway I saw. The next up would be the art gallery. These are, I'm not going to say uncharted territories, but it would make a lot more sense if Marcus was the poison kill. Because then you don't have to worry about the body. And yeah, this is bullet impact which I mentioned before. It can happen if you don't wait enough. And surely another restart for Kenny. Let's keep thinking about Randy as well, because if this goes within 47 seconds, then he will have to calculate all these auto finish loading times. But Soviet 2.5 minutes into the run, it doesn't feel like he's seconds away from finishing, because this is just such a rare occasion, letting Marcus go this far. He now has the screwdriver, but needs a grab on Marcus. Needs to have him hooked with some distraction, and at least there's no guard of him anymore. But out of all these NPCs, will the VIP be the one to react? And no, the answer is no. It is frustrating for Soviet, and I don't think there's any windows here for the next 2 minutes to get this ISO. But then again, Kenny has no finish in the next 2 minutes, so as frustrating it is for Soviet, he's still in the lead, of course, unbeknownst to him. Ah, Soviet goes for it, but it was just not successful, sadly. Too many eyes still around this area. So back to even. Had to use a couple of seconds to refresh after this constant back and forth, and this will still be a back and forth because players will almost always be within 47 seconds of each other, but it gets a little troublesome if both of them gets it right at the same time.
Welcome to the barge.
Let's see what Soviet's next approach will be. I like the fact that Soviet can get this kill done more often than not. But what's gonna happen to the Marcus eyes? So there's a Soviet kill. And it would be just so good if he picked up this hammer from the room adjacent. One blunt item is all Soviet needs to win this map. This won't go too far with just subdues. There is still the possibility to... Ah, yeah, this crowbar could just be the help
Finally gets what he
that
deserves.
Soviet needs.
Good riddance. Now let's get
It's gonna be
Marcus
tight
started.
because the other guard is gonna turn around and Soviet doesn't get Marcus in this hallway. That's actually a little frustrating to me, sadly. It would make the spin so much easier if Marcus was already isolated, and this is just so important in terms of Dubai. Because after this,
That's Marcus Stites.
it's just not happening. The isolation is just not happening.
Providence Pot.
Back to Kenny, who now had the car kill, which is
He might not look like much.
some news in its sense as well, because he was the one with the better Marcus prospects, but now the car kill and the Marcus ISO has the correct disguise, and we have seen where Soviet is going for a screwdriver. It's just a very short trick. Soviet with the green gun, Marcus killed though, and will be the first to exit. Kenny has the screwdriver. There is going to be a last-ditch distraction effort. I'm not sure if Soviet can get out with green guns. Kenny will, and Soviet going a bit of a longer way around. And it seems a double green gun exit, which means as I mentioned, and it is very unfortunate for admin here, but some random person, we have to calculate all of these loading times from the last 11 minutes, which are, I think, 6 restarts each, or even more. Goodness. Gonna be a long one. And yeah, just feel for Randy because this will take a bit to calculate. We will have a lot of time to reflect on this. Just looking at the Randy messages. 4 seconds is the lead by Kenny after all this. Don't imagine. Yeah, Soviet definitely surprised by this. But yeah, Soviet with lots of loads, Kenny with lots of loads. Won't be a minute or two until this is resolved. Current matches and upcoming matches are right here. Kevin versus Nezuko started 30 minutes ago. Egorex versus Mika started just 1 minute ago. If either of you want to just dip and want to see an actual match, I cannot blame anyone for this one, but I will have to stay on my post and report the results when I have them. And early thank you to everyone for watching, but yeah, this is the end of gameplay here. But we have to wait for the results as well. Just a momentary look at the group G again. There Kenny had 7 points after 3 matches, Soviet had 2 points after 3 matches, so they are on at least 9 and 4 respectively. Not much to say here, as long as we don't have the last map result there. Oh boy, so much action in just 11 minutes. So many early restarts, and that is the frustrating part. The fact that they all got it at the same time, but they couldn't for 10 minutes. That's probably going to be some what ifs asked by the players, if they are the type. Spoilers here from the other matches. We have one finished result from a match that has started already. Keben versus Nezuko has ended with a 4-2 win for Nezuko-chan, which, well, it is really not my job. I won't go into details, but if anyone wants to look into the Group B standings and look at Fenium in 3rd or 4th place by now, he only has a Yanini match remaining and he will need points, not just 1 point. I don't think even a map win is enough for Fenium to advance. Certainly a very interesting situation in that group. We haven't had a lot of progress in Group G as well, because no one is guaranteed to advance and no one is guaranteed to be eliminated just yet. But of course, 8 days from now we will know everything, which 4 players advance from this group and which 32 from all groups together. Back to our match. Soviet. I wanna say Soviet is all gen. Kenny is definitely all gen. PS4 mentioned in the chat. Now, at least this isn't a hardware heavy map. I don't think the loads have been more than 5, 6, 7 seconds a piece. Maybe I'm just hopeful, maybe I have the PC mentality and it's actually much worse for console and I could really feel for them. But yeah, as we are waiting for the result and there is absolutely no pressure on Randy. I think everyone knows what is coming next, what matches are going, what there is next to do. This is the final map. Kenny and Soviet can go offline by now if they want. It's absolutely no rush for anyone here, but no matter how long it takes, Randy will calculate the fair and final result of this map. And as a reminder, Kenny has a 4-second lead, but both players did many restarts. The two together have definitely loaded in for more than a minute. Now, could they have loaded in individually for more than a minute? I think that's a stretch, but I imagine it's 40-something seconds on both sides across 7 to 8 loads. Welcome, Soviet. It's been something, and I really wish if the gun flash worked first try, because I think with that we would have been looking not just a very quick spin, one of the quickest Dubais ever. I want to say, maybe it's just inconsistent. For me, it has worked in the past. I'm not exactly sure. In a disguise, I've definitely gotten it to work. I don't imagine suit would be different, but I told to the stream during the spin, could it have been any different if you re-equip the SMG to perhaps restart the gun flash confusion for the guard? Don't think it makes a lot of sense, but I imagine the gun flash wore off too early and that's why we went into combat. It's hard to say, but such a brutal Dubai. Not in a sense of hard spin, but it was a curveball actually, the fact that neither of you could have used the full loadout there. The pistol, the Trank, and the crowbar. Like, you could have only used 2, of course. My goodness. Kenny has apparently 2 minutes and 17 seconds of loads. I don't think Soviet can contest that, but Christ. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. 15 to 20 seconds per load. Records for longest loading time, no doubt. I think, like, I wouldn't be surprised someone loading in for minute and a half, but I never heard anyone for more than two minutes. Can I just try something? Since we do have a lot of time, I'm just gonna play around with this. Just look back to see these loads in action. So it's 36:20. That's 10 seconds. Yeah, that's 50 seconds for Kenny, just a Dubai load, and I don't think this was the actual first run. Just gonna look into this. It started... Yeah, this is far from the first run. Here's another load starting at like 37:30. This is another 15-second batch. So yeah, Randy, you're absolutely not wrong there. It's it's very awful settings of loads there for Kenny. But I don't think, of course, you should wave by any means. Just trying to kill sometimes. I guess for reference, we can just show one of your loads as well in the meantime. That's the final run. Alright, this is a replan, I think. This might be the first run, for what it's worth, but... There you go, it starts at 42. See, yours aren't quick either. This is another 15-second batch. I think both of you are quite ridiculous when it comes to loading times, sadly. Well, luckily. So from 47 past. $13, $14, $15. Soviet, you have the same loading times. I think it really comes down to which player restarted 6, which player restarted 7 times, rather. This is, yeah. And both of you had so many restarts. See, my guess would be that Kenny is the winner. Kenny had the more restarts because Soviet had a more successful Carl kill, so his restarts came in later, and therefore it was less frequent. And Kenny struggled more with Carl, so he had more restarts at the 30-second mark, but Randy should be posting within the next couple minutes. I'm actually gonna reassure him that the results seem logical, reasonable. I have the result here, but I wait until Randy posts it. What an extraordinary Dubai here with a good 30 minutes of photo finish counting, but it is needed to be fair. Two minutes and 17 seconds. for Kenny. That's official, I can reveal that. That's just so much, and that's even before Soviet's final time is announced, so... Alright then. We will have the finish by the time the timer finishes. I think we will have this post ready any moment now. Good grief, I hate Olgen loading. There's the comment by Randy. 2 minutes and 17 seconds for KkennyZ and 1 minute and 15 seconds for Soviet. So 66-second lead for Kenny wins in Dubai after a quite interesting Dubai. Not that it was any bad gameplay here, but rather the loading times made it quite ridiculous, and the strange live kill situation. But now it is confirmed, and very quickly, I don't know if Randy managed to push it to challenge, but we'll try. Randy is yet to push it to challenge. We'll give it a couple extra seconds until they are refreshed. Perfect, thank you, Randy. Wait, it's correct. Soviet had 2 points before this, so he should definitely be on 4. Oh, challenge is second guessing itself now. See, I have waited 15 minutes for updated results of this group, so I will show the updated results of this group. There is no stopping of me. Or maybe this is the end of challenge as we know it, and you will have to take my word for it that so it is up to 4 points. Kenny should be up to 11 from 4 matches. Man, what an anticlimactic ending. Well, I think the last 50 minutes were obvious on that, but yeah, I'm going to not show you the standings at this point, rather. Thank you, 4 points and 11 indeed. And as far as the matches go, we have already heard the ending of Kevin versus Nezuko, and now we are going to continue with Ekorex versus Mika, casted by Mendo. Thank you again, Randy, for adminning this one, and special thanks for this special photo finish procedure. GG's to Kenny and Soviet for playing, and thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye everyone.